All right, everybody, it's that time of year. We're starting off the 2019 Indy FOP Shop with a Cop. I got a whole bunch of my friends who are showing up here to get started, and we're going to see if they're ready to have fun. Are you guys ready to have a good time today? All right, that's what I'm talking about. They're all coming in. They're all lining up. We got Eddie Eagle out here that's greeting them and saying hello to them all. He just showed up. He's here just to welcome everybody to make sure that we're having a good Christmas. Here's the deal. Our kids are coming in. They're getting registered with our officers, and then they're also, if you take a look, they're all bringing in canned food items because that's part of what we do on this Building Bridges and our Indy FOP Shop with a Cop is we talk about this idea of paying it forward. So all the kids, as you can see, they're bringing in canned food items that they're donating that's going to go to the Officer Dave Moore Food Pantry. Officer Moore was tragically killed in the line of duty here in our community, trying to keep us all safe. And this was something that he believed firmly in, and this is a way of carrying on his legacy. So our kids are helping us do that, and they're also showing us the value of loving our neighbor and taking care of one another. The one thing that we know is that when we work together, we can do this, and that's the message of this whole event. So buckle up because you're getting ready to see how much fun we're going to have, and it's not possible without all of our sponsors. And it's just a great, great event and such a blessing for our officers. And the kids always teach us more than we're ever able to teach them. It's a great time here. So here we go. Get ready. Check out one of the really cool things that happens as our officers and kids arrive here in the parking lot. Before they even get into the building, we have our friends from ARS Rescue Rooter here that have been here with us for many years now, that are out here providing hot chocolate, warming everybody up, getting the sugar on board, and getting everybody fired up, ready to go. Our officers are here. How's the hot chocolate?
The hot chocolate is fantastic. Shout out to ARS. They're doing a great job. This is my 4th year being out here. I love ARS. I love the FOP Shop with a Cop. Hot chocolate's fantastic, warming us up, ready to get the day started. This is awesome.
See, we couldn't do it without them. Take a look here. More officers and kids are arriving. You can see they're excited and having a good time. Hey, everybody. Hey, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. You're going to have fun today. Okay, here we are with Jason Knoll, who's the general manager for ARS. This is one of our key sponsors and supporters. They've been with us for so many years. Jason, what's it mean to you and your staff to be doing this every year at the Shop with a Cop?
Well, this is my first time to be able to be here. As I got here this year, my staff told me how important this was and how much fun this was and how fulfilling it was. I had no idea until I got here. It's been fantastic. Being able to serve the kids hot chocolate and things, just seeing their faces, it's been great.
Jason, let me ask you this. This is what we all find out. Are you seeing that Shop with a Cop, really what it's all about is oftentimes you get more from the kids than we could ever provide for them?
Oh, there's no question. Yeah, there's no question.
It's what the Christmas season's all about.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about, folks. We appreciate all the support. We have just hundreds of people who make this possible, so shout out to all of them and shout out to ARS. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, here we are. We told you that there's a lot going on. As you can see, the very next thing that our kids do with the officers is they come over and they get some breakfast. They're getting donuts, fruit. We couldn't do this without our friends here at Chick-fil-A, getting chicken biscuits, hot chocolate, chocolate milk, juice, all the good stuff. Coffee provided for our officers from the Salvation Army. As you can see, everybody gets a chance to have some breakfast, get woke up a little bit, get to know their officers. The one thing we make sure that all of our kids know is the first name of their officers and start building those relationships and those bonds. The next stage that we're going to go to from here, and many of them don't know it yet, so they're going to get to go to the other part of the store and get to meet with the big guy himself. Let's go see what that's all about. Let's go. Okay, here we are meeting with the big guy himself. Everybody's lining up. As you can see, they're all excited. They're going to get to be able to talk to Santa real quick, tell them what they're looking for Christmas, but also Santa's going to give them a bag of fruit to take home with them. Now, here's what we got. We got all of our officers and volunteers here, but we got this one special guest over here that I want to introduce you to. This young lady has been doing Shop with a Cop with her dad, who's one of our officers, for over 10 years now. She's really kind of grown up with the Shop with a Cop experience. Can you introduce yourself, tell us your name, and then tell us why this has been so important to you doing this year after year?
Jessica Cox. It's just great to see the happiness on the kids' face and giving back to the community.
Yeah, and you've done this how long now?
10 years.
That's incredible. So you've really kind of grown up within the Shop with a Cop program with your dad.
Yep. It's great every year.
So this is kind of an annual memory for you guys that
Yes.
you guys make as well, right?
Yes.
See, just another reminder that oftentimes our officers, their families, the adults involved here get more out of this than even our kids do. It's our kids giving back to our adults. That's the spirit of the Christmas season. Now let's go over here. Let's just check in real quick with the big guy, see if he has a message for all of us here as we're doing our Shop with a Cop. Santa, do you have a message for all of us?
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
That's pretty awesome. Let's go on to the next spot. Let's go. All right, everybody, here's the next stage of this. So what we're doing here is before the kids even go shopping, they come through this line and they're going to assemble a food box made up of a holiday meal for seniors in our community. We couldn't do this without our good friends from Midwest Food Bank who have provided the boxes. They're also helping to provide the transportation. The food's being donated by the Meyer store here. And what this is all about is really talking about what the lessons of Shop with a Cop are. The big secret is this, that it's better to give than to receive. And that's what our children are learning about. They help out with the food bank. They then come through here and help out with a senior in our community. It really completes the circle of our adults helping our kids and then our kids helping the seniors in our community. And what they get to see is that they have the opportunity, even when they're getting a helping hand, to be able to pay that forward and help somebody else in our city. It's all about this concept of loving your neighbor. And it's really what this is all about. So as you can see, this is where it all culminates. Take a look at all these boxes that are being stacked up after being assembled. These are going to seniors in our community. Here's the really cool thing. This next week, a uniformed officer on each of our districts, officers all over the city, are going to be knocking on somebody's door saying Merry Christmas and providing them an entire holiday meal. Within that box is going to be a card that's signed by the child who helped assemble this and really sharing this message. This is what we're talking about when we say actions over words. This is how we're going to move mountains in our community, and we couldn't do it without the help of all of our sponsors and support personnel and our volunteers. Again, Cops Care and our Shop with a Cop event is so much more than just shopping with the child and getting a special toy. It's about giving and paying that forward. So let's go check out that shopping right now.
New tonight, a Christmas miracle. After seeing our story on RTV6 about a devastating fire that ravaged a Southwest Side church and destroyed gifts for local families, the Fraternal Order of Police steps up to help the church congregation and those it serves. So many people reached out to us here at RTV6 after our story aired last night looking for ways to help. We were able to connect that outpouring of support to those who need it, and we were there when the Indianapolis FOP delivered a very generous donation to the Church of Lord Jesus Christ. It is the silver lining in the midst of a tragedy, the way goodwill rises to the surface during times of need, the way community comes together to help.
And just our prayers are answered, you know, and it's just a blessing that somebody would have the heart to do this much for our church in this time of need.
This truck rolled up in front of the Church of Lord Jesus Christ, loaded with blessings.
Stephanie here, she's a friend of ours. We interact with her in Channel 6 a lot. We saw the story about what happened here. We're really sorry for your loss and everything that you guys are going through.
RTV6 and our Stephanie Wade, who brought you the original report on this week's church fire, was there as the Fraternal Order of Police and the Midwest Food Bank surprised the church with 100 boxes of food that will provide 400 meals for the neighborhood and a $1,000 donation to replace the presents lost in the fire early Thursday morning.
So we want to help replace those Christmas presents for all the kids here in the neighborhoods, all right? And then we know about the food pantry.
The fire left behind more than $100,000 worth of damage at the church on Capus Street, severely damaging the church's food pantry that served local families.
We're in a neighborhood that needs some help. We are, and the food pantry, the clothing we pass out, you know, the presents, all that means so much. And at this time of the year, to think that was going to be lost was just devastating.
Getting the word out about a call to action and bringing together the people who were moved to help with the people who needed that help is all helping keep the holiday a little brighter in this South Side neighborhood.
While you're on bended knee, we want to extend a helping hand to you. Help lift you up and remind you that there's hope.
It's such a blessing how your story and getting us out there could just refill some of the stuff that's lost at this church.
Well, as you can see, we've got folks moving everywhere, all over the store here, doing their shopping, getting the clothes, the winter clothes, all those things, but then also getting some great toys over here. Right over here, we got Officer Eric Rosenbaum, who's in here helping out this year. Tell us, can you just share with us, why is this important for you to be doing this and giving back?
It's a pretty big deal to me. I always like people don't call the police for good reasons generally, and a lot of times we might come into contact with these kids and it might be on the worst day of their lives. But being able to do something like this, they interact with us, get to see that we're normal people too, and get to have fun and enjoy some food together, have shopping together, and just show love. And that's the biggest. That's what it's all about, the people.
And one of the things we talk about is this is a day that kind of recharges the batteries for our officers, right? To get back out there and do what we do all year long. I always say that it seems like our officers tend to get more out of this than even our kids do. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for me, it kind of felt selfish kind of doing it. It's one of those things where, I'm super excited. I sent pictures of the elf from Will Ferrell, the elf, going, woohoo, it's Christmas. But, that's one of those things that we just got to do. And it does help a lot, because a lot of times when we come into contact with people, it is the worst day of their lives. People don't call the police for good reasons. So we actually get to do this and come into contact with them on a good thing and get to spoil the kids. Honestly, it's what Christmas is about.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. Let's go on up and check out everybody checking out up at the registers and getting ready to go to the next phase. Let's go do that right now. So here we are at the registers getting everybody checked out. The officers and the kids are coming through. We got all of our volunteers here who are also helping. We got several members of our Retired Officers Association who comes out to give back this year. But we also have a member of our executive board and a sergeant from the Indianapolis Police Department who's here. I was saying earlier, I think you've been doing this for over 10 years now, Sergeant Bob Hatch. Why is it important to you to be helping out every year at the Shop with a Cop?
Well, Rick, I'm going to tell you that it's an amazing thing. You've got kids that come in every year. We always pack the store up. We do a whole thing with the front, the back, in-game, the baskets. It just never stops. So we do the whole thing, and it's just wonderful.
Well, and you've been doing it for this many years, and wouldn't you agree it gets bigger and bigger every single year?
Absolutely, it does. We 350 kids this year, a new record for us. What can you say to that? So,
now we talked earlier to an officer who was actually shot earlier this year in the line of duty. He's here. He's been recuperating, but he still felt it important to get here and help shop. We've got a retired officer who had been shot in the line of duty many, many years ago who's here giving back and whatnot. We're all wearing these ribbons here. We're doing that for you, a special dude. You're going through a storm right now of your own, and you're still here giving back. Can you just share a little bit about what's going on with you and why that makes this extra important for you?
Well, real quick, 11 and a half years ago, I was diagnosed with an astrocytoma, brain cancer, mutation. Fast forward, after treatment, 9 years, it comes back, a little deeper, a little worse. 2 years later, I'm here again, but now it's mutated to a full-on glioblastoma, stage 4. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and I'm just going through treatment and trying to give back as I can.
Yeah, that's right. And walking by faith throughout this, I think without a doubt, this is another example of things that help boost your spirits as well. Do they not?
They absolutely do. I mean, geez. We packed Southport Meyer again, so what do you say?
That's right. Again, it's the secret of Shop with a Cop. Better to give than to receive. The kids giving so much back to our officers and vice versa, and it's just this whole thought process of loving your neighbor. We're committed to this principle that when we do things like this together, we can do anything. So together, we can do this. Thanks, Bob. Well, as you can hear, our kids are getting ready for the big move over to the Life Point Church from right here at the Meyer. These are the guys who are going to help lead the way with Santa leading all of our kids over there to the church. This is a really exciting time for them. They get to play with the sirens, have a lot of fun, and then get over there, and they're going to get an extra special surprise that they don't know about yet. So stay tuned, and we'll see you there, okay? Thanks, guys, for all that you're doing. Well, how about that for a ride over here to Life Point Church? The kids are coming through now. They're streaming through, getting ready for lunch, getting their bellies full of some good Chicago's pizza. We couldn't do it without our friends here from Chicago, our friends here at Life Point who helps make the facilities available. We're going to go in and get a large group picture in the sanctuary area and have some fun with everybody. But then, don't tell anyone. The kids don't even know yet, but they're going to get a surprise from Santa. Let's go check that out real quick and get a sneak peek. Let's go. All right, how about this for a surprise, huh? We got this whole setup in here that's going to be a winter wonderland that Santa Claus is going to invite the kids in to do. Check it out, man. This room is packed with all this kind of stuff. We got an obstacle course. We got basketball hoops that they can shoot. We got the bounce houses. Check out that slide. So you saw me come out there from the ladder, but look at the slide all the way over here. It fills up this entire room. Interesting point to note, as you can see, it takes all kinds of folks and the community as a whole to help make this happen. We actually had, last night, the night before this, we had the entire 5th grade from Rosa Parks Elementary, who for the last 2 months have been working on Shop with a Cop projects as part of their curriculum. They came over and hung all of these decorations that they made for the kids here at Shop with a Cop. It's just another example of how many more people get something out of this. They're being able to see what it means, what the real Christmas spirit is all about, what it means to help one another, take care of one another, and love our neighbor. So you can imagine the surprise the kids are going to have when they come running in here. You'll get to see, we're going to form them up in a tunnel of the officers, and they'll get to come in here and they'll be very surprised, and they'll get to spend about an hour in here taking full advantage of all that's been made available to them. We can't do it without the help of our sponsors. I want to thank some of them right now. Our sponsors like Meyer, Life Point Church, Chicago's Pizza, ARS, who you saw, the Salvation Army who come out. Also Midwest Food Bank, who's been such a big help with our senior food baskets and making food available for our partners throughout the community. I also want to thank Yellow Rose Carriage and several others who have stepped forward to make this possible, including the Central Indiana Police Foundation. What you'll see is this is a big team effort. Obviously, our officers are leading the way by picking the kids up and spending the day with them. But as we keep saying, our kids are the heroes in this entire day. You saw how they're paying it forward and how they're thinking about others even when they're supposed to be shopping for themselves. It's really the spirit of what we're talking about. It's better to give than to receive. It's such a blessing to all of us. Thank you for helping to make that happen, and thanks for all of your support. So here's another one of those special stories that come out of the Shop with a Cop invariably every single year. We've got our Chief Deputy here from the Marion County Sheriff's Office who's going to tell you a brief story about him and his partner here that he picked up this morning. Chief, can you first introduce yourself and then also tell us a little bit about what happened here this morning?
Chief Deputy Reggie Roney with the Marion County Sheriff's Office. My good friend, my new friend Jesse here, actually lives in the same double where I spent the first 15 years of my life. I drove by and thought, I'm going to go in there and see if there's a kid there I'm going to take to do with Shop with a Cop. I got in there and his mother said, hey, I got a 14-year-old kid. I said, love to take him. So ended up with him, who is a very smart kid, and he may be the next baby face from Indianapolis.
Maybe he'll be the next Chief Deputy of the Sheriff's Office. How about that? What do you think, Jesse? How's it been so far today?
It's been cool, honestly. I had a lot of fun and great experiences working with others and experience what it's like to have the benefits of a cop and, you know, just to have, like, somebody to talk to and stuff with my troubles and when it comes to home experiences as well.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us today. I want to bring in our Marion County Sheriff, Carrie Forrestal. Sheriff, your team, your command staff, all of your deputies have been extremely supportive and helpful this year to help make this possible. Can you just share with us briefly, why is this event so important to you as our sheriff?
Well, Rick, I appreciate the fact that the FOP's had the leadership on this, and it gets everybody working together. And this kind of story, Reggie and I were coming out of a breakfast with the ministers in the community, 25th and Keystone, when he said, I'm going to go by my house and see who lives there. So 5 weeks later, he's standing here, right here in the lobby, and that's the kind of partnership we like to keep in the community. And I think that there's probably stories we don't know that are going through this long line of police cars today. I mean, it was 2 miles, lights, sirens, which often is a bad thing when we see them. This was really a great feeling this morning.
Yeah, and what it reminds us of is what we've been saying throughout this video is that together we can do this, right? It's about building bridges and just loving up on our neighbors, looking out for one another, taking care of one another, and I know that's important to you as our sheriff.
It is. I think when people have a chance to talk to each other, when it's not in a volatile situation, they'll find there's a lot more similarities than differences, and that's the kind of thing this kind of event gives a chance to foster.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all of your support and your leadership on this. Just another example of what we're talking about, that this is a lot bigger than what most people think. And great stories that you see here, and we're looking forward to some more of these surprises. Stay tuned. I want to talk to you about one other thing and introduce you to a very special person who's got a message for you here real quick. First of all, I want to thank you again. It's not you, McGruff. It's not you. First of all, I want to thank you again for coming and hanging out with us here today. It's really important for our officers. I think all of our officers have had a great time with all of you, right, officers? I was very impressed. I was very impressed by the way all of you ran the lights and sirens. That's some of the best work that I've seen on that, so thank you very much for doing that. Real quick, I want to share with you that today's very special because what we always see is not only are you here getting something, but really what I see more than anything is your willingness to help other people. All of you brought canned food items for the Officer Dave Moore Food Pantry that's going to help people throughout our city. But you guys also put those food boxes together, and that's for seniors in our community. And it's going to allow us to share with them that you're thinking about them and that you love them just like they love you, and they're helping you out here today as well. So that's a very special thing. In addition to that, I want to introduce you to a young man who has been helping our Shop with a Cop program now for about 4 years. If Dewan can step over here with me. Can everybody say hi, Dewan? Hello. Now, Dewan's, this young man has been helping us, like I said, for about the last 4 years. About 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Dewan had a very tough experience in his life. And some of our officers were able to meet with him and take him under their wing, and they've really kind of kept tabs on him and have been staying in contact with him and everything else. Out of that experience, though, Dewan wanted to do something very positive, and he said that he wanted to do something to help other kids, maybe some kids who have been having a little bit of a tough time as well. And as a result of that, Dewan, who's pretty artistic, pretty creative here, he said, I want to do a fashion show. And in doing that, I'm going to raise money from that. He's now done that for the last 4 years. And as a result, every year, Dewan comes here and provides that donation. And if I understand correctly, we have now surpassed $8,000 that Dewan has been able to raise to help make a day like this possible for all of us. That's pretty cool, huh? So, Dewan, I just wanted to give you a chance just to share a few words of encouragement to everybody here and maybe tell us what this means to you to be able to help out with the Shop with the Cop.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Shop with a Cop program allows me to give back. I enjoy helping others. In 2015, they supported me. Now it's my turn to give back. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
1, 2, 3. Well, there you go, folks. This is where it all comes to the culmination of the day. As you can see, everybody's having a great time. We started where it began this morning early, where everybody was tired and shy and a little uncertain about being with their officers. Now they've got lifelong friends that they've made. Even though this is the culmination of the day, this isn't where it ends. We're simply getting ready for next year and a whole new group of kids, but we can't do it without you, your support, and the support of our sponsors. Take a look around at all the warm smiles, all the happiness that everybody has. It reminds us of what the spirit of Christmas is all about. And as you can see today, it's better to give than to receive, and it's all about loving our neighbor. So thank you all, and we'll see you next year.